This section is called date and time column section. So basically in this section, you need to deal with dates or date time or time alone or duration, like number of hours or so whenever you have data related to time or date, you can just deal with this. So let me just scroll to the right. I'm just trying to look for a date column. So here you go. So here we have a date column. So maybe if you can see, as soon as you select a date column, this gets activated. If you select any other column, this doesn't get activated because that is not the relevant calculation, right? So when you select a date column, this gets activated. And here we have a lot of options. Let's say you wanted to calculate year. You wanted to get an year, right? So you can get an year. If you wanted to get a start of year, you can get a start of year. You can wanted to get a end of year. So here you might have a lot of dates, right? Like 2013, 2014, several years. So if you wanted to get only the start of year or end of year, yes, you can get. So what is the start? Let us do a couple of examples. So click on start of year. So you can see all the values have changed to the start of that particular year. Let's say 2013, there was some random date, but somehow you wanted to push that value to first, start of that year's day, like Jan 1st, 2014, Jan 1st, 2013. Here we have 2013. So sometimes we have certain requirements in our calculation, in our reports. We want only the first date instead of showing any other date. So that time this column would be this option would be very much useful for you. So let me undo that and see a couple of more examples. Okay. So this date only works when you have a timestamp as well. So sometimes you have a timestamp, right? Date along with some timestamp. So that time you wanted to get only the date value. Yes, we can get that. And I'll get some start of month. Okay. When you select this start of month, here again, whichever month it was, it is going back to that month and just picking up the start of month. If you look at the third or, let us go to some value. I think already it is start of month. Okay, I think all the values are somehow showing the first of month. So anyways, you don't see much of change here. Okay. So if you have a date where you have a random dates, like any date in between a month, you wanted to get a start of month, yes, it's easily possible. End of a month, easily possible. Days in month, again, this will give you the number of days in that particular month, like 30, 31, 30. So these are all simple, and you wanted to get some day of week, right? Day of week, a day of year, or else start of week or week number, right? All this is possible. Earliest returns the earliest date value in the selected column. So let's say earliest date. So it is giving you the idea, like just like count rows. If you wanted to get the idea of the data, like what is the absolute early first date is the first date that is there in that particular column. What is the last date, so that you can get a range of dates that you have in your column, right? So these are all tools that will be handy. Instead of you diving and scrolling down or looking into the data, we have some easy to handle function. Okay. So again, timestamp. So this timestamp comes when you have time along with a date. Like for example, if you let me just pull up some other data set quickly so that we can have some information. Maybe I'll try to use this and see if you have any timestamp. Yeah, but it's zero timestamp, but fine. We have some timestamp. If you scroll to the right, there is some ordered date. You can see the data type for it is again showing date plus time. It's a different type. You can directly change your only date, or you can go back to your transform and click on this date only to change it as date only. You can see it is converted to date only. It is removed the timestamp. So now since there is a timestamp, this time will help us to get time only. So right now we have only 00 right there. But ideally, in some situations, like for example, there is an inspection time, right? Some people have some supervisors usually do some inspection of certain material or certain items in a departmental store or something like that. So that timestamp is captured. So at what time, like so and so, like 2 p.m., like 10 minutes or so. In that kind of data, you wanted to get only the time, right? Only the hour or only the minutes or seconds, right? So that time, this time related transformation is very much useful.